Hello everyone, I am back again with a new video for the Royal Enfield Continental GT. This time with a new topic, 10 terrible reasons why you should not buy a Royal Enfield Continental GT. I am being very honest in this video. I am a die-hard fan of Royal Enfield. I have been using different bikes from Royal Enfield for several years now. And when I say the 10 reasons why you should not buy Royal Enfield Continental GT, you should give this thought. Reason 1. The vibrations that come out of this vehicle. Royal Enfield Continental GT is a 535cc motorcycle that has a lot of power, but at the same time it produces a lot of vibrations. With the clip-ons attached to your bike, you will feel a lot of vibrations coming on your hand. At times when the engine does not behave really good, you will feel as if your hands are going numb. You might feel pain in your neck sometimes. So of course, one reason for not choosing this bike are the vibrations that you get on the clip-ons. Reason 2. The maintenance of the bike. After riding this bike for around 6 months, I observed that one of the spokes in the wheels got broken. I had to take it to the service station. When I checked the other spokes, they were kind of loose, in a position that it would break quite quickly. During the same period, I observed that my brake shoe was almost damaged. I had to replace it with a new one. During this tenure, I have taken the bike several times to the service stations for the basic maintenance. Apart from the normal services that were part of the normal routine, I had to take it several times for some minor maintenance. So the reason 2 is the maintenance of the bike. Also, a major issue that has been observed with this bike is the chain. Most of the times it produces some sounds in the chain. I rectified it different times with the service center. They were unable to rectify it. They would make some minor adjustments and I would get rid of the sound, but after a few days it would come again. I happened to show it to a local service center. The guy got one of the parts in the chain replaced to get this corrected. But of course you should consider maintenance as one of the factors not to select this bike. Reason 3. Terrible sounds from the engine. Though it is quite common among the Royal Enfield bikes that the engine gets or produces some terrible sounds, it's also the same in Continental GT. Though you can get them corrected using a mechanic, but the default bike that Royal Enfield produces and gives you has this issue. I'm not saying that all the users might have this issue, but it was quite common for my bike. I got it rectified through the Royal Enfield service center, but I have had several of the friends report similar issues. Reason 4. The cost of the components. I am not comparing Royal Enfield Continental GT with a Harley Davidson or a Triumph, but I am trying to compare it with other bikes from Royal Enfield. I know that this is a premium bike, but then when you are in a situation that you want some parts changed, they cost much higher as compared to the other Royal Enfield bikes. Reason 5. Availability of the components. If you see Royal Enfield Continental GT, this bike is not seen everywhere. Only few people around in a city own this bike. That might be a reason why Royal Enfield does not keep a lot of spares. If you want a certain component to be ordered for Royal Enfield Continental GT, you will have to inform the service center, who would have to order this item in advance and get this book for you. So there is an advance booking for different parts of this bike. Reason 6. Quality of different components within the bike. As you might already know that Royal Enfield Continental GT uses different premium components. Parts like Pirelli tires, Pirelli shocks, Brembo brakes. But there are few components in this motorcycle that are not at par with the quality. Even the welding that's being done on the vehicle, it's not top notch, but you can adjust with that. But when you take into consideration the different parts like the tubes or the wires, they often get damaged very quickly. So that can be one reason that you need to consider when buying this motorcycle. Reason 7. Lack of a reserve knob in the vehicle. It becomes very difficult for you to judge the fuel capacity or the availability within this vehicle. At times when you are on a long ride or when you have to go somewhere immediately, it would be quite difficult for you to check the petrol, or you would have to every time open the tank and check what's the fuel availability there. There is no reserve knob in this vehicle, so you will have to always depend upon manually checking the tank. Reason 8. The faulty fuel indicator. It's quite common in most of the Royal Enfield Continental GT bikes that you may not get a right indication of the availability of the fuel. This bike has a digital indicator that shows different readings each time you start the bike. If you are trying to see what reading it is while starting your bike, sometimes it shows that the fuel is full, sometimes it shows that only 3 levels of fuel gator is remaining, that is you are short with the fuel. Often it has happened to me that I went to the petrol pump thinking that there is very less amount of fuel remaining in the tank, but when I filled it for around 100 rupees, the tank got full. So the fuel indicator is very faulty. I showed it to the service center several times, but they were unable to rectify this issue. So this is one reason that you should consider while buying this bike. Reason 9. Fuel efficiency. I know that Royal Enfield bikes cannot be judged based on the efficiency of the fuel, but of course you should expect a minimum amount of reading that the vehicle manufacturer promises. Some people have told me that they have observed somewhere around 35 to 40 kilometers per liter, but in my case I see somewhere around 25 to 28, depending on whether you are riding in a highway or a city. Reason 10. The side and the center stand. Royal Enfield Continental GT has been made in such a way that you can take this vehicle, you can go around the corners, you can use it in your way as a sporty bike, similar to a cafe racer way. But sometimes I have happened to experience that the side or the center stands touches the ground when you travel with a pillion. Also, while I was traveling and while I happened to go over a bump, it always hits the bump. You may feel as if the engine is hitting it, but it's most of the times the stand, the center stand. So these are my 10 terrible reasons why you should not buy a Royal Enfield Continental GT. Though it has these disadvantages to point out, it has several other advantages that makes you feel why you should buy a Royal Enfield Continental GT. I'll cover them in my next video. Thanks.